Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us once again on the Boston Greeks podcast. I am Ari, and with me is my co-host, Foti Stamos. Hello, Foti. How are you?
Yasou Ari, doing very well.
Today, I'm pretty excited about today's episode. I had the absolute pleasure of attending a meeting that this gentleman is president of, and it was like I needed this after about 2 years of being like kind of on my own and not going out, whatever. This hit the spot, but I won't say too much about it. Let me hand it over to you, Foti, so you could introduce our amazing guest today.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Ari. And yes, that was an amazing time. And this segment is also important to me as well. We have with us a dear friend and a huge supporter of everything that we do. We want to invite and introduce the current president of the Alpha Omega Council, Costa Sideridis. Costa, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us. But we felt it was important that we have you on our show to discuss Alpha Omega.
Ari,
so welcome, Costa.
Kalimera. Again, guys, gentlemen, for the thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for the time. I'm biased. I'm a fan. I've been watching some of your podcasts over the months. So you guys doing a great job. So personally, I thank you for all that you guys have done for the community and for all the awareness you guys have brought in, not only for all the stuff you guys are passionate about, which is wine and food and spirits, but clearly for the ethnos, right? The whole Hellenism and all that stuff. So kudos for what you guys are doing, Kalezulias, and continued health and success. Very excited.
We appreciate that.
Defend what you guys are doing.
We appreciate that. Thank you, Costa. Costa, can you give us a little brief history of who you are?
Yep.
Just brief leading up until we talk about Alpha Omega.
Sure. So obviously Costa Sideridis. I was born and raised in Montreal. So I'm Canadian by birth. Both my parents are from Costa Sideridis, so they immigrated back in the early 60s. Montreal had it continues to have a huge Greek population there. There must be 50, 60, 70,000 Greeks. So we lived in Montreal for a bit, moved up to Chamonix, Laval, where there were even more Greeks. And at some point in the early 80s, 84, 83, I think it was, my father came home from work and says, Pedia, πάμε στην Αμερική. And at that age, I was like, what, Dad, poop, boss, because you have your friends, you have all this stuff, and all of a sudden pick up, and here we are. So we left in 85, immigrated down to New Jersey for a couple of years. And from there, went to undergraduate at Rutgers, where I studied engineering and business, and came up and found a job in Worcester back in 92, I think it was. And I was working there for about 3 years as a product engineer in ceramics. So my background, again, figure of Greek making ceramics, is in ceramics. So we do high-tech ceramics. And at the time, I started with a company, parted ways with them, and came on board here at Ferro Ceramic, where I bought the company out in 2000. Wow. And in 97, I was lucky enough to meet my lovely wife, Allison. So we got married in 2000, and we're very proud parents of Nick and Alex, who are 13 and 14. Mm-hmm. And it's been a heck of a ride. So a lot of people ask me, what was that inflection point that made you jump in and want to give back? So two of them. One is I had a slight health scare in 2010, where I had a second chance in life that opened up things a lot for me. And then clearly before that was once the boys were born, because once you see that life in your hands, you just want to give back and pay it forward. So that was the impetus for me to jump on secular and non-secular. I was always involved in the church. I was always involved in some other activities, but that's when, we threw gas on the fire and things just took off and all. So I heard of Alpha Omega through different people at church, different people I'd known about. And in 2013, I went to a meeting, and Ari, I can relate to what you said. I got to meet people that had the same type of thread, the same type of thought process, the same type of mission and expectation with fellowship. We all want to hang out and have a good time and enjoy doing it. So I came on board in 2014. I became a trustee, I think, in 2016. And then in 2018, I became vice president, and I've been president now since 2020. And I end in September of 2022. So it's been a heck of a ride. It's a ton of work, but it's very rewarding. And thank God my boss isn't a troublemaker, because I'd be fired right about now. But it's pretty good. So
Can you just, for the people who don't know that are watching this, can you just give a brief description of exactly what Alpha Omega is?
So one of the things what I was looking at, Ari, was I was looking at the landscape of Boston, right? And as Greeks, I think we work very well within our cellars, forgive me, our silos, I should say. But sometimes we don't work well within other silos. So, you know, Boston is filled with organizations, right? Whether it be the Federation, whether it be HEPA, whether it be all these other organizations that have been there for a lot longer than Alpha Omega was. But I think what appealed to me with Alpha Omega was that, you know, it had a core group of people that had a strong mission statement to advance Hellenism. And really, the organization started in 1976. It was started by Peter Agris, who was a journalism entrepreneur at the time. He was working with actually started the Hellenic Chronicle, which is a great paper that ran for many, many years in the Boston area. And throughout the past 46 years, we've had a lot of different people that have come through our ranks. We've had literally hundreds of members. We have welcomed many dignitaries from Greece. We've been involved in so many different activities within the Boston area. So we are now currently made up of close to 100 individuals, again, founded in 76. And our mission is very simple: to support the United States of America and also to advance Hellenism. And most of our territory is defined within New England. We have some forays that we do out in the US or even in Greece as well through some of our scholarships and education, and as well as our donations as well that we do. But the vast majority are here. And, you know, our tenets are scholarship and education, technology, entrepreneurship, and just giving back through philanthropy. So those are our main tenets. And it's a good group of people working together, trying to advance our cause and working with all the other groups in Boston.
I just want to say very quickly, Foti is a new member. I myself am not a member yet. And the only reason I'm not a member yet is because I'm actually not currently residing in Boston. But my plan is to get back to Boston. And one of my main, after that event we went to, one of my main goals is to get back to Boston so I could become a full-fledged member. I felt a very comfortable, it was a good feeling walking into that meeting. It was a good feeling seeing all these guys, accomplished people, talented people, and everybody had an open arms. They welcomed you. Everybody was chatting, music, food, everything. The whole atmosphere was just so welcoming and nice. And if you're a Greek man out there in New England, I mean, this is an organization that you have to check out. It's just such an amazing experience. And as an outsider looking in, I'm sold. I'm like, once I get back to Boston, I'm in 100%.
We're very fortunate. Throughout the years, we've evolved in many ways. This organization many years ago was known as kind of a, you know, not a small closed group, but we've opened up the goalposts. We're trying to make it so that we are truly Alpha to Omega. We're focusing more on mentorship. We're focusing more on some of the young professionals. So now our age groups stand from clearly from the 30s up until really the 80s individuals. So we want to make sure that we're opening that. We also obviously, you know, become more inclusive as well. So we welcome people of different backgrounds and so forth. So we're really eager to go to that next level in the next few years.
And if I can add to that, gentlemen, based on the last meeting we were all part of, and to add to what Ari's comments were as far as that feeling, but it amazes us, as you mentioned, Costa, that as individuals, we are extremely successful in our respective fields. But then when you put us together in our group, it amazes me at how diverse our group is, with individuals in so many different industries that are either startups, whether they're at the top levels, they're executives, CEOs, you name it. It was just amazing to listen to everyone's story of where they are today. And you don't really think about it, that Greeks represent, or Greek Americans and Greek Canadians and so forth, represents such high level positions in our world.
We're lucky, Ari, Foti, forgive me, that we have such a wide variety of industries, you know, whether it be from real estate, from law, finance, manufacturing. In my case, we're very blessed to have resident experts in their field amongst our members. So that's something that we pull when it comes to mentorship. That's when there's some activities we want to advance within the Boston community, whether it be the mayor's office, the governor's office, the things that we do with other organizations. So there's a key aspect of that. And I think my goal interim was to make sure that we stayed as a group. We had 100% renewal during COVID, which to me is a huge success because COVID challenged us. We couldn't get together. Fellowship was very tough to do. And not saying that, we're all about the cafaneo, because we're not. I think we enjoy fellowship, but there's also a sense of responsibility because we can all go and have drinks and so forth. But at the end of the day, when you're the tip of the spear, as I like to call it, there's responsibility. And that's what we've done to reach out to all the different organizations, partnering up with all the other friends and colleagues we have that we call partners in Boston to advance Hellenism together. Because unfortunately, I'm convinced as Greeks, we're all born generals. We're always looking for our army. But when you put all of us together, we're not herding cats, you're herding tigers, right? So how do we all work together without having that ability, let's all work together, because at the end, our biggest investment is our legacy, our kids, and Hellenism. And that's something that I'm very proud of. I teach the boys this every day. And I think as a group, we got to make sure we continue that because others are doing it. The Evrei, the other people in the area, they're all working together to do this. And I think we're no different because at the end of the day, we have a lot behind our ethnicity and our pride. So there's a lot there.
Agreed. Costa, anything in the pipeline that you might like to discuss that Alpha Omega is working on?
So now that COVID is somewhat not behind us, but now that we are getting together, and the fact that we have this great fellowship and we're having these great outings of people getting together, now we want to go back and resume some of these things that we were known for and why we want to build upon. Most recently, we had an event with the BAA where we helped present the golden wreaths that come from Greece that present to all the marathon winners. This event is twofold. It's part of our education program and part of our outreach. And our outreach is that because it's such a unique experience in Boston. The marathon, again, 125 years, we celebrated 75 years of Kyriakidis winning the marathon in 46. So there's a lot of history here. There's a lot of pride. And there's a lot of world-renowned people know it. It's just the Boston Marathon is something big. So we had a great opportunity with the BA where we hosted, we were part of their hosting of the opening ceremonies at Copley Square Park a few weeks ago, where we presented the wreaths to BAA. We're hoping we can go back there again in April to the State House where we've always been. And that's really associated with our education program, where we've teamed up with a lot of the schools on the marathon route, whether it be Ashland, whether it be Hopkinton and so forth, so we can help advance some of the education of the marathon, what it means and so forth to the kids, because that's something that has been a core part of our initiatives is education side. And we want to make sure that we continue doing that. And that's a huge initiative to not so much as restart, but kind of get back to where we were pre-COVID and stuff. And then there's other things as well. I mean, we have, this bicentennial that we're celebrating this year. So we're very lucky to have Ambassador Gianna Angelopoulos Daskalakis coming next month to receive our trustees award. Regretfully, we can't have the honors gala that we usually have at the JFK. So this will be a smaller event. But, we're hosting a world-renowned figure. We're very excited that Ambassador will be here. Last month, with the help of the Consul General's office, we helped host the Admiral Petrakis, who is the head of the Hellenic Navy. A few of us went out to dinner with him and his group and so forth. So, we work with the Consul General's office quite a bit. We work with others as well. So we want to make sure that we're out there helping. And I think it's just the mentorship. That's going to be one of our biggest things going forward, is that we want to, again, focus on that alpha to omega so that we do have all these residence experts. How do we get it out to others? How do we team up with the Boston University group or the BC Call? There's all these young professionals that are out there. I know the Metropolis does a wonderful job. We're very close with on bringing their youth, right? The Orthodoxy on Tap is huge. What they do at the camp is enormous. So we're trying to see if we can connect all these dots so we can bring some of that, and working closely with the circle of the Hellenic academics. We have over 100 Greek professors in Boston. How do we connect that dot as well? So there's so many things that we're eager to get back out there and reconnect and do these things. That there's so many initiatives out there. I'm just happy to be in this position and working with a great group of guys, great group of trustees that, it's a few hours every day, but it's rewarding to say the least.
It's
I
amazing.
definitely agree. That's impressive, Costa, because it takes individuals like yourself to lead.
Mhm.
The passion and even the concern, because as Greek Americans, we also have this concern. We don't want to lose our faith. We don't want to lose our culture. We don't want to lose our language. And as we have children, that's always in the back of our minds. But lately, it's been the top of our minds because it's part of our day, as you mentioned. So yes, kudos to you and hats off to you as far as what you're doing. I'm personally excited to be involved and honored to be a part of the group. Um, is there any information that you want to release as far as for those that are listening to this segment, where they can find more information about Alpha Omega?
Yeah, just go to alphamegacouncil.org. We try to keep our website up as current as possible, so they can understand what we're involved with, what different things that we do, membership and so forth. But we're pretty excited, and I think one thing that makes Boston unique. I mean, in the U.S., it's a mosaic, right? People in Chicago, New York, Miami, L.A., Detroit. There's all these Greek towns, but there's different dynamics there, right? IHEPA could be strong in New York. You could have something else strong in Miami, but in Boston, we have education, right? Some of the best universities in the world, in the country, if not the world. You have all these, entrepreneurs that come over. I look at what Marina Hatzopoulos and her group has done to do some of the entrepreneurship from the folks over in Greece. So that's a huge other area that we're trying to capture and work with. And philanthropy. There's New England does a ton in philanthropy. So we're excited to be here. We're trying to seize what we have as a grassroots type of effort, not forgetting our past. Again, we came out of, a journalistic birth. But, a lot of us are not journalists. I'm an engineer. There's other people that are different. So I think we've taken the base, we've built upon it. And as we evolve, we'll continue to build upon it with great members like yourself, Fatih, and others that come on. But it's a hell of a ride. It's really neat. And, we'll be celebrating our 50th in a few years. And for organizations to last that long, it means something about the predecessors that have preceded me and those that will follow me.
Excellent.
Amazing. I just want to say, your organization, Costa, the Alpha Omega Council, also gave me a little bit of street cred down here in DC. You're asking, how could we have given you street cred in DC? One of the Man of the Year awards that I attended was Ted Leonsis.
Sure.
So now I'm down here in DC and they're like, talking about, the sports teams, this and that. And I'm like, oh yeah, I met Ted. He's cool. He was at this Alpha Omega Council up in Boston. So you gave me a lot of street cred. Thank you to the Alpha Omega organization for that. And we just want to say the work you guys do is amazing. Again, I attended a couple of your events, one very recently last week. Such a great feeling to be amongst all of you. You could tell just by being in the room that, these guys are doing things. You're making change. You care about what you preach. You practice what you preach. And it was just a great feeling. And I think anybody out there that is listening to this that doesn't know already, check out the alphaomegacouncil.org. We'll also link all of that up in our videos and podcasts. And if you yourself can't pass the information along to somebody who can, it's worthwhile. If you care about your Greek heritage, if you care about philanthropy, if you care about fraternity, if you care about all these things, it is an amazing organization. And Costa, we thank you so much for being with us, taking the time, and for being the president and a member and doing all that you do. We thank you.
All right, thank you. And again, you mentioned DC. We have so many connections that we reach out and we support, whether it be Ted Leonsis, Andy Manitos, others that we've honored throughout our Lifetime Achievement Award. And, there's other organizations as well. So my recommendation is, regardless where you are, whether you're in Boston, whether you're in Minneapolis or something, and you have that urge to get involved and to give back, reach out to local organizations, whether it be, even if it's non-secular, if it's at the church, or if it's another, district in a HEPA or something else, because, there's not a lot of national. I mean, you might have National Hellenic Society, you might have a HEPA and others that are out there, which obviously I'm a member and support both tremendously. But you got to just go out there and do something, because we have this responsibility as Greeks to continue this legacy.
See, there's the example right there. Sending me to anywhere that could support Hellenism, that shows that you're a true believer and you are absolutely genuine. Again, thank you so much. Fatih, anything you want to wrap up with?
Just wanted to thank Costa for taking the time again, out of your busy schedule to be with us. this is super important to us and our audience. And we wish you much success in everything that you do. And we can't wait to hang out with you again in the next meeting.
Gentlemen, thank you. It's always a pleasure. Again, continued health, success, continued what you're doing. And, we respect and honor and appreciate what you guys are doing. So keep up the good work, because you're the voice for many of us that don't have one. So we appreciate it, and keep up the good work. Thanks again for the opportunity as always.
Thank you again, Costa. Thanks everybody out there for watching and listening. You could contact the Alpha Omega Council at their website. We'll have it linked up, alphaomegacouncil.org. And thanks for watching, listening, and we'll see you guys next time. Thank you again, Costa. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys.
That's a